This video is to answer a question from the Chapter 4, 1 through 4 Cumulative Review Exercises, and we're going to look at number 15 here at the bottom. If 10 pens and 15 pads of paper cost $26, and 5 of the same pens and 10 of the same pads cost $16, find the cost of a pen and a pad. Okay, number 15. Alright, I'm going to have to type this since I don't have my handy handwriting utensil installed, so that's okay. So what we first want to do is define our variables. So we need to have the cost of a pen. Let's let that be x, and let y be the cost of a pad of paper. Okay, those are going to be our two unknowns. That's what we're trying to find, is the cost of a pen and a pad of paper. Alright, now the two things we know are that 10 pens, so if each pen costs x, 10 pens will cost 10x, plus 15 pads of paper, so if each pad costs y, 15 pads will cost 15y, add up to a total of $26. That's my first equation. My second equation is that 5 pens, so 5x, plus 10 pads of paper, so 10y, adds up to $16. So what we do first is write our two equations. Now we're going to use either substitution or elimination to solve this system. I'm going to pick elimination because none of these variables have coefficient 1. I've got coefficient 10, 15, 5, and 10 again. So I'm going to try the elimination method. So the elimination method says multiply one of the equations by something in order to get them to be the same coefficient as the other equation. So I'm going to check these out and say that with my 5 and my 10, I could make them both 10s, or with my 15 and my 10, I could make them both 30s. We're going to go with a smaller value. So we're going to take our x's, make the coefficients both 10s. This one is already a 10, so we'll leave the top equation alone, and we'll multiply the entire bottom equation by -2. Knowing that we don't really want it to be a 10, we want it to be a -10, so they'll add to 0. So -2 times 5x plus 10y equals 16 will give us, let's see, -10x minus 20y equals, and then -2 times 16 is -32. That was the bottom equation, so let's just go ahead and write the original top equation just right underneath it. 10x plus, was it 15y equals 26. Okay. Then add up the two equations. It's going to leave you with 0x. -20y plus 15y is -5y equals -32 plus 26 is 8. Wait. Be -6. Yeah, -6. Okay. And so we'll solve for y. So to solve for y, we're going to need to divide both sides by -5. So we'll do that. I'm sorry, my typing's a little bit slow here. So what I'm going to get overall is y equals, the two negatives will divide off, we'll say 6/5, or 6/5 is in, there's my calculator, 1.2. So 1.2. In this context, 1.2 is going to make the most sense since we're talking about money. We're actually going to say 1.2 or that would be $1.20. Okay. Once you know what y is, you also need to find the x. So go back to your original equations. You know what y is equal to. Go ahead and plug that value in for y. It doesn't matter which of the two equations you use, just pick one and then find x. So I'm going to go ahead and pick the bottom equation because the coefficients are a little bit smaller. So I've got 5x plus 10 times 1.2 equals 16. And we'll just solve. So 5x plus 12 equals 16. Subtract 12 from both sides. 5x equals 16 minus 12 is 4. And divide both sides by 5. X is, if you divide by 5, you get 4/5. And 4/5 in decimal is 0.8 or 80 cents. Okay? So, for our conclusion, we can say that X, which is a pen, costs 80 cents, and a pad of paper costs $1.20.